Hello and welcome to this podcast. In this episode, I want to talk about what it really means to believe in yourself. So, this is a very chill kind of an episode where I just want to have a conversation with you to help you understand this very common statement that we all hear that we should just believe in ourselves. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I think that this is one of the most common inspirational sort of advice that is handed around, and it's something that I have heard so much, and also something that I have actually now come to realize and believe, and in a way that is so important for being successful. So I really want to share the inspiration with you so that you can also understand this advice of believing in yourself in a way that can help you shape a better future, whether it's for your business or career or relationships or whatever it is that you're currently seeking in life. Now the thing is, if you have the wrong idea about what it means to believe in yourself, or if you do not really understand how to do it, then you won't be able to use the advice and you might actually end up really holding yourself back. So let's just talk about believing in yourself first of all. Now, like I said, this is one of the most common advice that you hear everywhere. It's all over social media, it's in the memes, in YouTube videos, in blog articles, or even if you look up how to be successful, the first tip you'll usually come across is to believe in yourself, in believing that you can make it, you can do it. If you are having a hard time, people are going to tell you to just believe in yourself. If you are struggling in something, they'll say just believe in yourself and you can do it, believe in it and you can make anything happen. And then we also hear when really successful people get interviewed and asked, what is the number one thing that made you successful? And sometimes they say, believing in myself or being able to visualize my success. That is what made me successful. And if you are at the stage where you're initially trying to pursue some of your goals or dreams and you're trying to learn what you need to do to become successful, then again you are going to hear this advice even more. So here's the thing about this advice, or about any advice for that matter. If you get an advice on how to do something that you really want to do or achieve, you will naturally be inclined to want to believe that advice that you receive, right? For example, you want to become a millionaire, let's say, and somebody told you all you need to do is read every day. Reading is the key to success. It's the key to become wealthy, so just read every day and you'll become a millionaire. Now, whether or not you think that reading every day would work, or whether you can even understand why it would work if it would, you would naturally want to believe that it would work because you want that outcome. You want to become a millionaire. So you want to believe that that advice would actually get you there. And then even further, the easier the advice is, the more you actually want to believe it, because that means you can get what you want without having to work so hard. So if somebody said all you need to do to become a millionaire is go to college, get your bachelor's, get a master's, get a high-paying job, well, you might think that that would work, but you don't want to believe that advice as much as you would want to believe that just reading for 5 minutes a day could make you a millionaire, because obviously it's a lot easier to do just the reading, right? So now when I first got into this whole personal development world, so to speak, I heard this advice, believe in yourself and just try to visualize your success. And I really wanted to believe it because so many people said that that was the key to major success, and it just sounded so easy. And I didn't understand exactly how this works. Frankly speaking, it actually sounded quite questionable, but I wanted to believe it, so I decided to give it a try. So what I did was, I didn't exactly know how to go about it, so I just took the advice at its surface and really just tried to believe in myself. Tried to believe that I can do it, I can just do it. And I did this for a while, and you know what happened was, I pretty quickly started feeling like it wasn't working, especially after I'd been really consciously doing it for a while. It just didn't seem to be producing any results. Also, I logically kept thinking, how would this actually work? And I couldn't help but think that the things that you could believe about yourself, but it really doesn't matter if you believe when it's not true, because it probably doesn't have any effect on reality. So here's the thing that I came up with. If you really believe in something, then it might as well just happen, okay? But when you're doubtful about something and you just keep on trying to believe that you can or that it is, it doesn't really work out well for most people because it doesn't really have any effect. You just end up feeling like you're lying to yourself at times. So, how to actually make the advice work? Well, as I hinted earlier, even though it didn't seem to work for me earlier, now I figured out a different kind of a way to kind of go about believing in myself that really does have an impact. And here's what it is. It's basically about believing in my capability to do something and believing in my ability to figure something out, believing in my ability to overcome challenges. Okay, so it more has to do with believing in my potential than it has to do with believing that I am currently capable of achieving a particular goal. Now, one way that this really affects things is that when I'm thinking about my belief in my ability to achieve a goal, I cannot really put a timeline on it, you see. Now, of course, I can give myself a deadline for when I want to achieve the goal by or when I'll try to achieve the goal by, but there's really no sense in believing that I will achieve it by that deadline because I cannot know how long it's going to take me to figure out what I need to figure out to do, what I need to do, or to overcome what obstacles might arise. So that's why I said you cannot really believe that you will achieve a certain something by a certain date. Now, deadlines can still be helpful, but you cannot be totally sure that you'll hit them. That's the thing. So now let's talk a little bit more about what believing in yourself means though, and how it can really help you to believe in your capability. You've probably heard some sayings in the past that go something like, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. And that's really where the whole concept of believing in yourself comes into play, because as soon as you hear one of those phrases, you just have to ask yourself, how do I become one of those people who keep working on overcoming the obstacles? How do I become so determined on my goals that every time I come across an obstacle, I don't let it stop me and I don't just give up? Because I don't want to be one of the quitters, I want to be amongst those who actually achieve success. And this is so true. The difference between the people who achieve success and those who don't is not that the people who achieve success are much smarter or have so many more resources or anything like that. It really has to do with how people respond to things that get in the way of their goals. So if you don't believe in yourself in the sense of believing that you are capable of overcoming, believing that you are capable of figuring out problems or are capable of figuring out what you need to do, then when you come up against a roadblock, the way you'll respond is by letting it stop you. You'll start having thoughts like, oops, I went the wrong way. Oh, this clearly isn't working out for me. Oh, this stopped me. I can't. But if you do believe in yourself, you have that belief in your capability to figure it out, then what's going to happen when you come up against that obstacle is that you'll probably think, this is interesting. So how do I solve this now? What can I do instead? How can I go around this and continue to make progress towards achieving my goal? And if you think about it, this type of believing in yourself is really the number one thing that anybody who's successful would attribute to all the success that they have ever achieved. They might just not be explaining it in this way because everybody has their own way of saying things, but this is really the thing that everybody who is actually successful or has been able to successfully achieve any goals that they have in their lives would attribute to. So you see, the truth of the matter is, with anything that a person wants to achieve, whether it's about making a certain amount of money, improving your health in a certain way, or getting into a certain kind of a relationship, start a family, there will be challenges that you'll run into along the way. There will always be times when you could just give up, back off, and say, maybe it's just not meant for me. But if you maintain your belief deep down that you can figure it out, then you will keep on trying and you will eventually get to your goal.